it's not too often that I get a chance to talk with three performers at the same time. I never had a chance to talk with Peter, Paul, and Mary, nor for old-time Vegas fans, the Mary Kay Trio, but I did get an opportunity to talk with Bob, Susan, and Paul back in January. Well, here they are again, Bob, Susan, and Paul. You know them as the Cowsills. The group will be performing this Friday, September 8th at the Golden Nugget Las Vegas. For ticket information, go to goldennugget.com. And for everything about the Cowsills, go to cowsill.com, and you can follow them on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. And Bob, Susan, and Paul, welcome back to the show.
Thank you very much, Ira.
Thank you, Ira.
I want to point out that last time we talked, all three of you were in different locations. This time you're on your tour bus, so all three of you are sitting there together visually. Audibly, you're a little bit of a distance from the mic, but that way people will understand why. So that's good.
Oh, we'll talk loud.
Yeah, perfect. Well, of course, Susan, I expect no less.
I knew you were going to go there.
Now, there's always sibling rivalry, but the three of you have had sibling harmony. So did you know that from the beginning?
Oh, yeah, we knew that of each other from the early days when we were singing at the house. I mean, in the living room, before it ever left the living room, we knew about that.
Yeah, and also, Ira, I do want to mention that we have always gotten along. In our family, we had people with green eyes, and then we had people with brown eyes, and it seemed like the people with the brown eyes got along quite well. Then the people with green eyes always had an issue.
By the way, and to follow up with the finality of that, all of our green-eyed members are dead.
Wow.
Our dad had the green eyes, and our mom had the brown eyes.
So the green-eyed monsters, as you call them. Oh, you didn't call them that. But the green-eyed people are gone. Only the brown-eyed remain. Is this what you're telling me?
Yeah. True. There's some genetic reality.
Us and our brother John really are all that's left.
We only noticed that after the fact.
Yeah. It wasn't like we knew what was going on. And
no,
frankly,
we
there's no basis for this.
Yeah.
We
Fair
were
enough.
My brother, you're a green-eyed kid. Get out.
Well, I don't know. I don't think I asked you this before, but it always occurred to me, what keeps you all in the game? You obviously could be doing other things. You've been in the business a long time as a family and as a performing group. So what keeps you in the game?
Well, for me, there's two things.
Start with
One
Susan.
is hanging out with the family, and also I need a job. It's what I do. If I don't do this, then
You found out what you were good at.
Yeah, I found out what I was good at, and I stuck with it.
Excellent. Not a lot of people do that. Some people go and do something else.
It's the love of the whole thing. I mean, look, I was blessed to have what I do as art be my work. We can't always have that.
That's right. And sometimes, people have this big dream of doing music, and they think they're just going to think it and make it happen. But you've got to have a job, I mean, and even Susan, although she's never had a normal job, well, she had a Marie Callender's job. She's done it a couple of times, but she has always done her music now, and it's always been kind of like a job for her, where pretty much, I mean, what we're doing out here with the Happy Together is really a great job.
It's a day job of music.
But to get to where we are, it took all of us to have other jobs, because you just aren't going to eat. If all you're doing is sitting around hoping to become rich and famous doing music, it's not going to happen.
No.
But the reason we're still here, that you asked, why are we still doing it? Because this is the job we love the most. And if you love your job, you don't want to quit. You want it to go on forever.
No, you don't. And that's true. And I know people in regular jobs who are getting ready to retire who really love their job. They don't want to stop.
Yeah.
So thank God this is our job,
And you're all healthy, which is really helpful too.
The healthy part? Yeah. Well, that's the brown-eyed thing now. As you know now, with our family history, we are healthy, yes. The brown
It does help. Now, of course, it was said that Susan never had a normal job. Is the implication there that she's not quite normal?
Correct.
Ah, okay.
You hit it right on the head. I've had two normal jobs. I worked at Marie Callender's for a year and a half as a waitress and in delivery. And I also worked in a distribution company with my good friend Becky. And I was called the Queen of Xerox, and I got fired.
And yeah, do you have any pies with you, Susan, since we're doing this show?
No, but I make a mean apple.
Okay, excellent. Now, is there somebody on the tour bus that's watching their hands or doing some weird stuff? Because I'm hearing a sound in the background. They can keep
No,
doing
that's
it.
just our tour bus, Ira. We never have peace. All you hear is this vent going 24/7.
Bus is not a quiet existence.
No.
Understood.
Very
Understood. I assume you use earplugs to sleep and that kind of stuff. You just no.
Get used to it. It's scary, and then when it's gone, you're like the world just like disappears.
It's kind of the white noise thing that you can sort of bury yourself in, and the sound of the bus at night rolling down the highway, it lulls you to sleep.
That's true.
It's okay.
But I can tell you one thing about this here sound. When I go home and I'm in my back courtyard, and if that air conditioner kicks on, making this sound, I will run inside my house and turn it off so I don't have to hear it.
Well, I could see it as white noise if it were not intermittent, which it is as I'm hearing it. So that would drive me nuts because you don't know when it's going to come on or off.
Well, then you couldn't be on the Happy
you'd be one of-
Together
yeah,
tour.
you're off.
Yeah.
Bye-bye, Ira.
In fact, in the brochure, when we fill out our application, it says, "Do you have a problem with white noise?"
Yeah, must suffer on bus. Check yes or no.
But I will tell you, Ira, that once we are in our individual bunks and you close this curtain that's like 5 inches thick, you don't see anything, you don't
Pretty
hear
cool.
anything.
Yeah.
Any noise you're getting is you. It's
True
you.
that. That's
So the
actually true
bunk
at that
is
point.
a nice place to go for solitude.
Well, when you guys work out a tour, because as I mentioned, you're obviously coming again into Las Vegas at the Golden Nugget this Friday, September 8th at 8 p.m. When you are on a scheduled tour, so you're on the bus, so you go from town to town or venue to venue with the bus. So the only excitement for you is when you roll into Las Vegas and you see the bright lights.
That's right. It's the only excitement, and we are starving.
Well, the biggest excitement of every day on this tour, and the same thing whether we're in Vegas or anywhere, is the show. So
I was going to say showers.
your whole day, well, the shower is
Still
part of
getting
the excitement toward the show, that's for
Okay,
sure.
good.
There's nothing like that. But the show is the excitement. So it's like you lose track of what day the weekend is first, and then the date second usually.
Yeah.
What city maybe third.
He's right.
As you go along, every one night or two.
Yeah, I've actually made myself recite the date every day.
Well, I was just going to say the interesting thing about this tour is, we will be doing a show on Monday and a Tuesday and a Wednesday, and only our demographic could make a Monday show
Because they're
because
retired.
they're all retired. And they got their money, and so
In fact, these crowds out here, like we're sold out more than ever,
ever.
and it's just because everybody's at home.
And they
Yeah.
all are trying to, and they all think, hey, this might be our last concert.
Yeah, you gotta do that.
Well,
What if we don't go now? And,
We're the might not be an next year group.
yeah. You worry about your last dental floss on that last concert.
We're good to go.
Have you noticed when you go out though, there's no green-eyed people in the crowd?
Oh, stop now.
They're all
No.
dead. You told me that earlier. Come on, Susan.
They're all dead.
That was
That's
specific
an
to
hour family.
that's our gene pool only, our gene pool.
Oh, okay. All right. Fair enough. I just wanted
there are
to.
some
Okay.
very, very sweet people that have green eyes.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's all.
I'm glad we cleared up the record because that was important.
Right, me too. I mean, God, we don't need any more controversy in our lives. Trust me.
But speaking of records, Ira,
Yes.
of records, I did want to let everybody know in Vegas, last time we played the Golden Nugget, we did not do any songs off of Rhythm of the World, our new album out. But this time, on the 8th, we're going to start the show off with Rhythm of the World, which is the title track that Sue wrote. And we're going to do that at the very beginning where we usually do Rate the Park.
Yeah, it's gonna be super
And then
exciting.
we're going to do four songs from the album along with the rest of our show.
Right.
So-
I remember when you guys mentioned the album the last time you were on.
Yep. Well, everything's going great there, and boy, we're selling them like hotcakes out here. And the vinyl is very exciting. In fact, when we were in Vegas last time, we had the vinyl with us, and we didn't do any songs though, but we had the vinyl. Boy, it went right. We ran out of vinyl.
People are loving vinyl
Yeah.
right now. We are
Oh,
selling-
yeah, absolutely. They're not so much selling as hotcakes as selling as pies, based on what Susan was telling me earlier where she
All
worked.
right, we are, Ira.
Exactly. Exactly. So we do want everybody to come down to the Golden
Come to
Nugget
the
and
Nugget.
see the show on Friday the 8th. It's going to be a super duper show
Super
because
duper.
we're going to be really excited.
Big meet and greet after.
Meet and greet.
Meet and greets are always fun for fans of performers to get a chance to do that. Something else that the three of you mentioned that is so true. I've talked to a lot of performers this last year who always tell me the same thing as you did, which is the best part is getting on, and you called it the show, but getting on stage and performing. The rest of it is touring, flying, being on a bus, checking into a motel, all that stuff.
Right, and that's what you're getting paid for.
Yeah.
You're not getting paid to the show.
We love that.
You're paid to get there.
Yeah,
Right.
It's really true.
Exactly. I've had 10 performers tell me that in the last year. It's absolutely
because
correct.
It's the truth, man. It's like when you're performing, it's reciprocal with your audience. You don't really need a financial moment in the truest moment.
Yeah.
It's
Right.
just an exchange of this great happy moment.
Without
And
getting
that's-
sappy,
and that
without
doesn't even. Yeah,
without getting sappy, it's an exchange of joy.
it totally is, man. So you don't really want to be paid for that. That's not why we're here. But all the things that go into it, it's no joke. Somebody out here likes to say that's no joke.
It's a nightmare.
Do the math, okay? You're on stage for 20 minutes. That leaves you 23 hours and 40 minutes to manage. And
Here,
that's
yeah.
your challenge.
Right. On the Happy Together tour, but
Yeah.
we'll be doing a much longer show in
Oh
Vegas.
yes, hour and
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't figure out that reference to 20 minutes. I thought
Oh,
that's
that's
pretty
our-
short. Yeah.
That's our Happy Together. You're talking to us on the Happy Together.
yes.
tour,
So we're everything
That's
relates.
all I can think of.
That's all.
Now, I have a philosophical question for you.
Uh-oh.
If the Cowsills got together with Richard Harris, you could have a hit with The Rain, MacArthur Park, and other things. What do you think?
Well, sounds great. We love Richard Harris.
love
We
him.
would sign that contract in a heartbeat.
Yeah, and the best album ever is Tramp Shining by Jimmy Webb and Richard Harris. Go out and get it, y'all.
And Richard Harris also was in our favorite movie,
Camelot.
Camelot. So we loved Richard Harris.
But I like the title.
Favorite
I like the title, The Rain, MacArthur Park, and other things. You see how
Oh,
that?
I do
goes?
too. I'm
Yeah, I
in.
thought it
I'll
worked.
call Jimmy Webb. We'll see what we can do. I think it's not here.
Water sitting in MacArthur Park.
Yeah.
Okay, I ask this question every so often, but I almost know not to ask this of you because you're not this way at all. Is that
Okay.
despite all your decades in show business, the three of you do not appear to be at all cynical and or jaded.
We
That's
are
right.
not jaded about that. We appreciate and are so grateful that we get to go out on a stage every night and have crowds. They're full. These houses are full.
Yeah, sold
And
out.
they all had to go out and buy a ticket. They get up the day of the show and they got to go, wow, we're going to a show tonight. They're going, And they got to park and they got to get into the venue.
And they got to worry about getting home to take their meds.
They're going to the show.
They're going to. And it's funny because we say this every night when
Right.
we're, I mean, for real, we're like, God, look, like they had, you know what it's like in a day. And if you've got a plan that night, how easy, especially after COVID, it is to just go, maybe we'll just stay home.
Not these
But they
people.
don't. And that, man, and it is a joyous exchange. Ira, that's all it is, man. Party or not.
Do you find that from city to city and venue to venue, that the audience demographics change, and is Las Vegas particularly different than all the other places that you perform?
We're all boomers.
Yeah.
We are a generation.
Yeah.
And we are here and we're still filling these venues.
It's
We're
what
still
it is.
going to our shows. We're going to pop till we drop.
Boomers
And
are going
we
to crawl down the
everywhere,
aisles, man. They're not
everywhere.
going to give up.
We're
You-
everywhere.
I think the three of you, go ahead.
Oh, well, I was just going to say the thing about Vegas is that people who are going to Vegas for fun and their vacation have the opportunity at any moment to go see somebody, at one of the hotels. And so Vegas is cool because you're getting people that are excited
Yeah,
to
they're
be
there to
there
go to a show.
and then to find a show that they want to go see and go see it.
We have a large demographic moving to Vegas from all over this country. And they're there.
But we want everybody to go to the Vegas show.
Yeah.
You never know if there's going to be a next year.
Yeah.
Oh, not again.
Gamble on us.
The green-eyed threat. He's doing it again. So oh no, that's just genetics. I know, just your family genetics. Okay, fair enough.
Right.
What-
Extrapolate
You know, we can't
Ira-
stay out of trouble, we Cowsills, evidently this year. Keep going.
What I like about the three of you, and I know there's a slight delay, so if people listening and watching realize why we're stepping over each other, sometimes there's a slight delay. But what I like about the three of you is that you are unapologetic. You are unapologetically boomers.
Oh, hell yeah.
Oh,
And heck yes.
I thought you were gonna say corny.
No. Here's the thing. If there was a representation of boomerness, it's right here. I'm 1959. That makes you 49.
Yep.
We are the demographic from top to bottom. And I'm part of the younger group of boomers.
Yep.
Hi,
Yes,
y'all.
Thank God we have a whole batch of younger boomers to keep going. You
But
know?
honestly, without that, I don't think this would be happening.
No,
No,
we
it's-
are what we ate.
That's right. Not happening in any other decade, quite like it's happening for us.
Right.
I mean, our people are millions and millions. It's the biggest demographic ever in the history of the
And look,
world,
we
of the
play-
baby boomers.
We play in towns with some named people. And I always think, well, then Happy Together is going to get a little, no, because those people are coming out to see their past.
Right.
It's like, that's nice. That's one guy. That's one moment of my life. But over here, it's every summer I ever had. I'm going here.
Yep. 6 acts. That covers a big gambit of hit records.
Do you guys ever get too claustrophobic in the touring bus? Obviously, you get yes, because you get along. I would imagine one or more of you would have to get out of the tour bus and go for a walk or a run and get that stress level down, because it can't be easy. Even though you're all family, it's still your 24/7 situation.
Susan needs to get off the bus more than me. I need to get out of the berth I sleep in once
More
in a while
than me.
because I'll have a small panic attack
He seems
and
fine.
start thinking claustrophobic thoughts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I get you. From a logistical point of view, and this may sound like a silly question, but theoretically, when you get to a town, you're on a tour bus, which you've been sleeping on. So technically, the management could say, well, we don't really need to pay for a hotel room for you guys because you have accommodations on the bus already. And is that, I should point out for those listening that they are hitting each other. So have you come across that where management says, well, why, you guys already have stuff, accommodation?
Yeah, that's why we're here. It's our day off. And looky here where we are. We are on the bus.
We chose
We
to
choose.
live on the bus. There's a lot of reasons. There's a lot of shuttling if you have these hotel rooms, and and so it's a simpler life if you live on the bus. Our food is here, everything.
We don't leave
here.
toothbrushes, suitcases, guitars, personal items in hotels. Because
We
look,
love it.
Forget to set your alarm to get up at 3 o'clock because the bus is leaving.
yeah, no, much
We're asleep at those hours.
Yeah.
That's very practical. I see that now. What about your rider? Do you still get the green M&Ms put into the?
Sure. I got
bus.
pineapple juice coming out of my ears.
Yep.
It's interesting, just so everyone knows, there are 6 riders on this tour because there's 6 bands. And yes, every venue supplies the dressing rooms with what the groups ask for.
Right.
And I think between the groups are very different.
And we
As
had,
well.
they all do have riders, and we had a rider that we usually use for our big concerts with our band
Sure.
and all that. But then we realized how much food was being wasted because it's all right there. So we shut it all down, and what we asked for is a box of wheat thins, a thing of brie, a 6-pack of Coke, a 6-pack of orange soda, and what's the last thing?
And soda water for me.
Those almond crackers, whatever that
Oh
is.
yeah, the
Nothing.
rice thing.
Nothing.
Rice thins,
Rice
yeah.
thins, nothing,
Yeah.
So
nothing.
we got it way down to nothing, but still, imagine it every night. We're doing 61 shows out here this summer.
Yeah, that's a lot.
61 boxes
A
of wheat
wheat
thins.
thins.
Who needs that? So we leave all that in the dressing room
And by
and not feeling bad because it's clothes and they can certainly give it to somebody or go to a
Right.
food bank and that kind of
These venues are pretty good about not wasting their leftover food. They spread it out between their workers and
Yeah.
any of these
Oh, good.
venues.
Okay.
Oh, they do, and they also have food bank. I learned because we had an overflow on the bus, and I was like, I got to get this food put somewhere.
throw it
I can't
away.
throw it away, and I can bring it to some of the catering at some of these shows, and they
Yep.
effectively go to food banks
Yeah.
because of this.
Yep.
because
It-
these
you-
venues, Ira, the venues feed us very well if you want. there's lunch when we arrive, and
Yeah,
there's
it's
a
breakfast,
big
lunch, and
dinner
dinner.
at night. So you can really chow down out here if you're not careful.
Yeah.
But even the small amount that the three of you order, though, maybe it's something about touring, but none of it sounds healthy, except maybe the wheat thins.
Well, you manage it. You manage your diet. You manage your
Okay.
sleep. You manage your biochemistry.
And we don't usually eat the food that the venues have because it's usually white food, or brown food. And so we hit a Walmart as soon as we
We
can.
get our own supplies.
we
We
are
have a
loaded.
juicer or
Yeah.
we have a blender.
Yeah, and
That's great. No, that's a great way to do it. This is what other logistical question? I'm just fascinated by the fact that you're touring on the bus. What do you do for exercise? Do you just use a venue's exercise room, or do you just
not.
What's that?
You would not believe how many steps you get in a regular day here from when you park. You have to walk into the venue. The venues are usually huge. You go back and forth, getting this, getting that, moving here, going there. You would be stunned. And
Work all day.
you do 20 minutes of cardio every night.
every night
We
with
are
the show.
We open up. We go out on 10, 12.
Yep.
And I have a bicycle that I ride out here because I do actually have to get out and away, or at least feel like it.
And all the venues have the workout rooms available
Right.
to everybody.
They do. But our 20 minutes are
Yeah.
our 5 hits, And the thing is that even in our regular shows, we never do them back to back.
No,
They're
it's
still,
a cardio.
they're still in the same keys that they were back in the 60s. So we haven't changed that. We have never dropped the key. And so it's not easy to do.
We
No.
come out of a 90-minute show, and you go, whoa. And then when you say, well, we only have to do 5 songs on the Happy Together tour, that 20 minutes kicks our butt.
My God.
You'd be
bet.
surprised.
I bet.
High level cardio. I'll tell
High
you.
level cardio.
But when you come to the Golden Nugget, you mentioned about integrating your new album in with the other songs, the other hits, or the hits. So how do you work that out? Do you just sit down and methodically figure out, okay, we're going to do this song and then that song? I mean, how do you work that out so that the audience...
Our set list produces our old hits, other hits from the era, and our new music, and even folk music from another time.
Yeah, we
So
have a little folks.
we're a variety show.
Right.
We have stories, we have
Stories.
family experiences we can share. Our show is a lot more than 4 hits.
Yeah.
And we just work it all in. It's fun.
We're
makes
hanging
it
out.
different. We got new, we got old, it's a blast. It's
So
a
I
blast.
think people should come on the 8th, on Friday, September 8th,
Yep.
and hang out with us.
Yeah, hang out with us.
They're going to hear stories,
Stories.
and new music and old music and other people's
We'll have to
fantastic
do hair
music.
color and hairdo. I just
Yes.
promise you.
See what you're-
And we're going to be excited because it's very exciting for us. Our band is not out here with us. It's just the 3 of us. And we
Right.
use the house, which is a brilliant
Really
idea.
wonderful band.
But man, when we get together, it's so exciting for us because we're back and we know we're rocking and it's just
Sure.
wonderful.
When you're on stage, because as you know, Susan is the spark plug of the trio here. And so when you're on stage, let's see, Bob and Paul, if I could phrase this delicately and diplomatically, does she ever step on your lines?
That has nothing to do with the show.
Well, Ira, we don't have lines.
We don't have lines.
We're
No,
freeform up
I
there.
I don't mean to imply written lines. I guess I should have said, when you're talking, does Susan ever kind of step over you while you're finishing a thought?
Sure, she's done it since she was
Susan
born.
isn't the only one stepping. By the way.
Susan will be the one. I mean, look,
I'm just the only one they don't listen
I'm
to.
talking here.
Exactly.
She's our little sister, and she never
There it is.
jumps up.
There it is. How would he know? He never listens.
There you go.
Hello. All right, you guys. Golden Nugget, man.
A couple of minutes before I let you go. So the first million selling single that the group had was The Rain, the Park, and Other Things, which we talked about earlier. Sometimes it's referred to as a flower girl, but
I call it.
when it first came out, were you overwhelmed by the fact that it hit as strong as it did?
Well, we were overwhelmed we had a hit, but you said when it first came out. When it first came out, we didn't think we had come from 2 labels and 4 flops. We weren't assuming anything. And we thought that song title was like, no one's going to remember that. But it was a hit, and still they don't remember it. So that was true. But
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah, that remains true.
makes the list every year of a titled song that they never say the title in the song.
Yeah,
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 yeah.
that's that distinction.
That's good.
What about, and I'm going to go to you individually, and any of you can start and any of you can finish, but your favorite song from the Cowsills catalog, and you may differ individually from what your favorite is.
Well, my favorite's a song called "Some Good Years," and it's actually coming out this coming holiday season with a song called
What a
Christmas.
coincidence.
Christmas time. We have a digital holiday release coming out Christmas time, and "Some Good Years." That's our New Year song. And "Some Good Years" has been on the internet for a while. People are putting cool videos to it. You know, it's the kind of song where you have a retrospective video to it that works, and so that's my favorite.
Polly?
Susan.
No, I do have, but it's nothing anybody's gonna know. I like a song called "Get Away from It All." It was on was it Captain Side? Gotta get away from it all and the noise of the bell and get a breath of fresh air, fly away anywhere. 'Cause if I don't, I think I'll lose my mind. That's my favorite Cowsill song.
Like it.
We wrote that with Mary Dean.
Sorry.
That's okay.
I would probably say, I mean, if I'm just, there's a million of them. I probably tomorrow, if you ask me, I'd have another song in my head. But a song called "What Is Happy."
Oh
It's
yeah.
just the
Makes you
sweetest
feel
song.
good.
Yeah, it's just a great song. It's
Well,
got a nice-
what's fascinating is none of you actually picked any of the hit songs or the ones that we mostly identify with the Cowsills.
If you had said of your hits, which one do you like? That would have
You
garnered a
said
different.
catalog.
You said catalog.
You know what? You're correct. I stand corrected, Your Honor. Yes, I did ask that specifically. Yes.
So then I'll just go ahead and say "We Can Fly"
Paul.
for me.
Hair.
Okay.
Favorite,
Bob.
favorite hit record? Oh, hit record. Okay, well, the Rain Department. I mean, it's just in my heart. That's the one,
And before I let you go, we have about a minute left. What do you see? Are you going to be going back in the studio again to record another album soon, or are you going to have time to do it with all the touring?
Bum, 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 bum,
Ah, the
bum.
Christmas, or is that Hanukkah? I couldn't tell. Do that again.
Maybe.
We may be
Oh,
going
what is
in.
that? The donkey song. A big we could cross.
The Cowsills have never recorded a Christmas album, and we are running out of time.
Oh,
Excellent.
and
everybody's pushing us to do it.
Yeah,
They
pushy. So
Well, all the blue-eyed Cowsills, I'm sure will have time to record the Christmas song.
We'll
Yes.
find the blue eyes.
Yes,
are.
because there were no blue eyes.
Not many.
Sorry.
You're right, the brown eyes. That's right.
Green.
Well, there was green and brown.
Yes.
That's why I said it the way I said it. I think I said it the way I said it, but who knows? I'm tired, so it could be.
I think you said it the way you said it because saying it was the same thing as when you said it.
Yes, I agree totally with whatever you just said.
Going all the time.
Take a little talk, a little tick.
Well, that's a great way to leave it. My guests, Bob, Susan,
Thank
and Paul.
you.
You know them as the Cowsills. The group will be performing this Friday, September 8th at the Golden Nugget Las Vegas. For ticket information, you go to goldennugget.com for everything about the Cowsills.
Let's
You go
fill
to
it.
Let's do it. Let's rock.
That place.
Cowsill.com and follow them on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. And Bob, Susan, and Paul, thanks again for being on the show.
Always
Thank
fun,
you,
Ira.
Ira.
Thank you, Ira.
Always fun. See you next time.
See ya.